Hello, everyone. Welcome to Chasing a Murderer. Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you all had a beautiful, healthy holiday because that's what matters the most. Just spending time with those that you love. So make sure you treasure that. As for my family and myself, we were able to spend Christmas together because it's been tough ever since COVID come along. For me, I really do think about a lot of families out there that do not have what you might have or I have this Christmas, like the families with missing persons. And I'm just hoping that the families get through this the best they can. We're sending our love out to you guys. Let's go ahead and get started. We are on Life Beyond the Grave, part 130. Moving right along in the summer of 2019, story that covers Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell. We left off where Charles Vallow was shot. And a lot of people, how they might see this. A lot of people are thinking, how is it that the police did not get more suspicious, knowing that Lori had no remorse, no emotion that you would expect with some kind of event like this? And what about Alex Cox? He's in Colombia, enjoying the women he loves so much there. Again, this is just after Charles Vallow is shot. Many people believe that Alex Cox is believing that he's going to receive some type of money or lump sum for carrying out a lot of these heinous acts. There's a lot more to the story that we don't know about. And if Alex Cox were to still be alive, I think we would know a lot more than we know today. Many people following the story believe that the Chandler police, they let down the Woodcock family. They let down Charles and they let down Tylee and JJ. If any time anyone could have put a possible halt to this chaos, it might have been them. And we're not even certain of how serious they took this investigation, why it took them so long to actually finish the investigation or even get to the point to where they could say, hey, something's not right with this case. After hearing Adam Cox and, I'm sorry guys, Kay Woodcock speak on this event, what they were dealing with during that time, it really raises a lot of question marks. Lori Vallow's religious belief escalate. At least that's what it appears to be happening. It appears that a lot of people believe that Lori believes in these teachings that these guys are following and teaching, and that the fact that she believes in multiple lives, well, perhaps it's not a big deal to die. Chad Daybell has written in text how he believes that his wife is next and it won't be long. And during this time, they are trying to figure out, what are they going to do for Charles' memorial? There's a couple memorials held. They're more of a private at this time. We do know that Lori is making it difficult for the family to find out anything or to talk to anyone about Charles and what had happened, including the funeral director. He was shaky and nervous because Lori had told them not to say anything. Lori seems to be fine and dandy with ignoring these kids, doing what she wants to do and continuing to live as if nothing ever happened. Lori Vallow smiles and tries to charm his way through every situation, through every person she speaks with, still trying to control the situation so that people only know what Lori wants them to know. This includes the fact that Charles is cremated, but the family believes that is not Charles' choice. And Lori was quick and had him cremated immediately. There's so many stories going around of how Charles dies. Lori tells people that he died of a heart attack. She also contacts JJ's school and tells them that he died by suicide. And all the while, the true story of what his ending was, his fate, was in the media paper. Did Lori Vallow believe that she could literally get away with this, that people were that stupid and really didn't care? You got to remember that's something she truly thought, and I think that's why Joseph Ryan, um, he was done the way that he was done. Charles' ex-wife and his children with his ex-wife doubted anything that Lori said, and they had reasons to, because Lori had tried to ruin their lives multiple times. And I'm not talking about just arguments. She seriously tried to ruin their lives. I won't go into how, but trust me, it was serious. One of Charles' kids quoted, "I don't know what happened to him, but I've got a lot of ideas. And if they're possibly willing to take out their own, I have to assume the worst." Steve said, "I don't believe any of it. My dad was never verbally aggressive, never raised his voice, never physically threatened anyone or anything like that." Then he makes a comment about the baseball bat. He said he was very good at baseball. He played in college, so if he was going to defend himself, he wouldn't just tap an aluminum bat on someone's head on self-defense. The entire story doesn't make sense. So when you hear these people that are close to Charles talking like this, you have their attorney, you have his ex-wife, his children, his sister, his brother-in-law, Adam Cox. All these doubts of what really happened that day should have been a major red flag for police and made their job easy. But it didn't happen. And this is something that should be investigated. And I hope the Woodcocks are able to get an attorney and sue them, because this could have been prevented. Anyone that follows this case understands that there was a major ball dropped when Charles was shot. For years, Charles had been under Lori's spell, it seems, and he believed in her when other people didn't, at least until she no longer believed in him. At one time, Lori Vallow, the Vallow household, was deemed a very unsafe environment for Charles's children. In court documents, it is said that Lori has a history of making false sexual abuse allegations and lies. And at some point, Charles, because he's supporting Lori, is considered not capable of following the court orders or protecting any of the children in his household. This isn't a personal attack against Charles. This is Charles being blinded by a very manipulative woman. What Lori did to Charles's kids and family, her own children, was unacceptable and one of the most heinous evil things that any parent that's supposed to be a loving mom can do. At one point, Charles's ex-wife, who had done everything in her power to protect her children from Lori, was now finding herself in a place where she needed to protect Charles. She was quoted saying that she was seeking extraordinary relief because she felt she had to protect her children from what was clearly had become an unstable and unhealthy environment. Before this story broke, years and years before this story broke, Charles Vallow's ex says that Lori's making false sexual abuse allegations. Joe Ryan said that Lori is making false sexual abuse allegations. Though Charles was not abusive to his children, he was at the time taking Lori Vallow's side somewhat over his children. This was caused quite a bit of pain for Charles' sons, at least several years. There were many lies that surrounded Tylee Ryan as well. These accusations were written back in 2008. So here we are. Charles' ex-wife is here, trying to help Charles, knowing that what happened to him was not right, that it was not self-defense and most likely was murder. Though Charles and his ex-wife had not spoken that much anymore, she still understood that this was the kid's father and that what happened to him was wrong and needed to be right. Charles' sons with his ex, they were still reaching out to Lori days later, trying to find out information. They were hurt, disappointed, and begging to be part of whatever memorial service was going to be given by Lori. Charles' sons had reached out to Colby and Tylee, and even JJ, but weren't getting really any responses. Every now and then, they would get a response from Lori. They even asked Lori, what is it? Why isn't anyone answering us? Is everyone okay? Is JJ okay? What does he know? Still, till this day, no one knows exactly what Tylee and JJ knew. Many people believe that their future fate in the story is dependent on what happened that day that Charles was shot. I want to jump back a little bit to some emails that actually come out in court 2023.
It says, is he with whom you're having an affair? He did not stay with us in Arizona in November. Who are you lying to now? Trying to destroy another family? You're evil. Period. I may take JJ back to Houston unless you have a great explanation for all of this. I will not let him be a party to your apostasy.
June 29th of 2019. Charles Vallow admits that Lori Vallow is a destroyer of families and that he wasn't going to allow for it any longer. It's only a few weeks before Charles is shot that he actually comes to terms with who Lori is cheating with. Discovers that the guy that Lori's messing around with is married to a woman named Tammy Daybell.
Charles to Lori at 6:10. I now have Tammy Daybell's cell number. I'll text her a copy of the letter and an explanation of what you're up to. You have till noon your time to explain, or I'm sending via text and email to her. At 6:55, Charles sends Lori a message. I'm sure you are up by now. You have until 10 a.m. your time to respond, or I send the emails and texts to Tammy.
Lori didn't mind playing these head games with Charles or anyone else. She totally felt like she had control and that the outcome of whatever they said could be manipulated. She didn't have to worry about it. Based off my research, it seemed as if Lori believed that whatever Charles told anyone, that she could handle the situation and convince people that that wasn't the truth. Before Charles is shot, supposedly he says that he had sent an email to Tammy Daybell trying to warn her about the affair Chad was having with his wife, Lori.
On June 30th at 2019 at 10:16 a.m. The subject line of the email is, your husband and my wife, and the body of the email reading, are having an affair. Her name is Lori Vallow. I've got definitive proof, if you care to see it. Contact me and I'll share it with you. It's devastating, I know, but the truth needs to be shown. Charles Vallow.
Later on, they tried to figure out whether or not Tammy had read those messages. There was no indication that she was able to read any of those messages. In fact, police would have to say that they couldn't even find them. And there was a possibility they had been deleted. It seems that Lori would have about 4 burner phones that I found out so far that would be associated to her name. Sorry for the environmental changes, guys. Now think. Before Charles was shot, Lori had mentioned to her brother that she needed to go to his house and get some stuff she needed to secure. Most likely she's referring to the gun. So these are things that are going to come up in the Charles Vallow trial soon. We're going to find out more details on this, I believe. A lot of people are wondering how Janice Cox and her family are able to tolerate this kind of stuff and actually continue to support Lori, because anybody who had sense would understand that she was creating a lot of issues. These weren't sudden. This is something her entire life. She's even caused issues with her own parents. They have admitted to that she had got married multiple times and didn't even invite her family. Lori could open and close a door on anybody at any time. She was very impulsive, obsessive, narcissistic, selfish, and a little off. It wasn't hard to find that Lori could see herself walking above everyone. Her inability to understand the consequences of how this would affect the other people, the innocent people, her young children involved, was enough to say, hey, this was one evil person. Her enemies and her lies, it didn't matter what they would face or what their consequences would be. She seemed to enjoy trying to get people in trouble and ruining their lives. For Lori, this was a game. It was a challenge, and she would obsess over it. Kay Woodcock talking to police after Charles is shot. Kay Woodcock and Larry Woodcock. That is Charles' sister and brother-in-law.
Hi, sweet Kay, please.
This is she.
Hi, Kay. This is Detective Moffat with the Chandler Police Department. Returning your call.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well.
Well, Charles Vallow is my brother.
Okay.
Was my brother, and I don't, we don't even, I don't even know where to start with all this, because this is crazy. I couldn't, we're blown away, and the only way we found out what happened was my husband just happened to Google Charles Vallow, Chandler, Arizona, and all these articles showed up. That's how we found out he got killed.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
And Lori never called us. She texted his two oldest sons, told him that I'm sorry your dad's passed away. He loved y'all, and I love y'all too. And I'm at the funeral home making arrangements. That's it.
Okay.
She said, okay, so I don't, and she still hasn't talked to me. So, I mean, we just don't understand this. I know that there was issue with Al, the brother. Charles, there's a lot of stuff into this, okay?
Okay. Yeah, I would love to hear some of this.
Her husband takes over from here.
Extremely hard, and Kay is taking it hard. So I asked her, let me pick up the phone and talk to you.
Okay.
Charles was just like a brother to me. Charles was one of the kindest guys you ever met, you ever wanted to meet, and he was the kind of guy that you wanted to be friends with. This is a setup. There is a huge problem, and what we would like to do is we're here in town, and we flew in. This morning early, so we could be here to hopefully be able to talk to you. Lori does not know we're here.
Okay.
And we would like to sit down with you and discuss this and let you see let you hear the other side to this. And there is so much, and I don't even know how this could even happen, but there is a lot of stuff you really need to know. So I know you're off this weekend, and we're not going to bother you. We're not going to bother you on your days off. My wife and I own our own business. We know what it is to have a day off and to appreciate it. But I was wondering if we could possibly get with you Monday.
Charles, if you guys want, I'm sorry, Larry. I'm sorry, wrong name. Excuse me very much.
That's okay.
Larry, I can gladly make time and we can sit down tomorrow. I have no issue doing that. I I've a barbecue, family barbecue going on this afternoon, but I have absolutely no problem making time to sit down with you guys and talk person to person. It's very hard as an investigator to know exactly, I'm walking into a family with a bunch of dynamics that I don't have any understanding of.
Absolutely.
Let me explain to you that that there's a newspaper article out there, and that's I'm sure kind of what you read was what was initially reported to us, but we were in the very beginning of this investigation. So
we understood that, we anticipated that.
Yeah, this is not something that I'm taking them at face value and just setting aside. And I say that with hopefully the confidence in what you guys have already expressed to me that stays between us, because the less that Lori and her brother know, as far as us making conducting this investigation in the background, the better.
Yes.
So this is I have to tell you it is going to be an uphill battle to reveal the truth in this, because we only have so much scientific evidence, and then we have basically eyewitness testimony of to 3 people. So but it is not an investigation that we're just closing the doors on and walking away and taking it at face value by any means.
Okay, thank God, thank you, Jesus.
Who's the first person?
So in fact,
Lori and Al, but who is the third person?
Lori's stepdaughter, Tylee.
Oh shit! All right.
So, and Al is Alexander, I'm assuming, or Alex.
Yeah, I know him as Al.
Okay.
I wouldn't know him if he walked up to him.
Yeah.
He knows that there's been an issue in the past with him with some kind of. Charles told me a while back that Charles told me a few months ago that Al was crazy, that he really did fear him because he said he's crazy, he'll do anything. He said, I put nothing past this man, and he said...
And he's got a history.
And he's got some kind of history. I can't remember exactly what Charles told me, but I swear it had something to do with him shooting Lori's boyfriend years ago. I don't know. Seems like he did time in jail, or I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a 2007 case that we already researched, and I don't know the specifics of the case, but I know that that the case was completed and stuff, and he has the right legally to bear a firearm. Now, as far as the rest of that goes, so it wasn't any serious offense, because you don't get your rights restored if you shoot and seriously injure somebody. But I have not reached what he did 10 or 12 years ago is so far in the distance for what I'm focused on right now that it's something that will be looked in on, but it's not something that we've even focused on right now.
Right, it's not the relevant thing. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, look, we are here in town. Lori has no idea that we are in town. We've done that on purpose.
Okay.
Also, well, we'll get with you tomorrow.
Where are you guys staying at?
Where are we staying at?
I don't know.
Oh, we hadn't even got a hotel yet.
Okay.
We just flew in, and
If you just call us in the morning, we'll let you know where we are.
Okay.
we got to find a hotel.
Absolutely. So what I'll do is, how about we plan on like 10 or 11 o'clock? Is that okay with you guys?
That's perfect.
Okay.
Absolutely. Gives you time to get over your barbecue and us to get a night's sleep. And anyhow, we look forward to working with you to hear another side to the story, and we look forward to meeting you. And obviously, if there is anything that
Okay, you can check this out at Truth and Crime, the rest of this. But you know what? You hear them talking about Joe Ryan. Al, which is Alex Cox, Lori's brother, referring to Joe Ryan. It goes to show you that Charles Vallow knew about the attacks on Joe Ryan. He started to suspect that perhaps these weren't innocent attacks against Joe Ryan, and that they wouldn't put it past Lori and her brother, especially her brother, for doing anything crazy. And that's very, very important information to know, that Lori is the mastermind and Alex is usually the one to take action. But Lori, you got to remember, was there when Joe Ryan was attacked. What would have happened if they were able to tase Joe Ryan and put him in the trunk of the car like they had planned? Guys, I have to call it here, but make sure you share your comments and your thoughts below. Things have just gotten crazier. Don't forget to share a missing person's face today on your social media. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys soon.